Alright, guys, so this is Civilization 6. So, this is the game that I have been glued to for like the past 2 weeks. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to try to get into an intro video here just to kind of show you guys how it works. First thing is the game is incredibly strategic and incredibly detailed. There are things that I breezed over that there's so much detail to that it just blew my mind, like how much you actually have to get into this game. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set up. I'm just going to create a game, um, and let's take a look here. I want to do continents. And I'm going to do huge. I love huge maps. It takes forever to meet everyone. However, this is way too many city-states. They start crowding my land. And then I have to pick a ruler. And this is one of the really nice things I love about this game is every ruler is so different. And then I think there's over 39 rulers that you can choose from. What I'm going to be choosing from today is I am going to show some love to Australia and choose their Prime Minister, Mr. John Curtin. He does some really cool things. So the first thing is you get 100% production if they have either received a declaration of war or liberated a city in the past 10 turns. And so let's see, liberate a city in the past 10 turns. So basically, what he does is if somebody declares war on you, he doubles the production. So you can get your units out in half the time. It's a really cool ability. I would hate for anyone to attack Australia because you know that they're going to be pumping out those units really fast. The other thing is when you settle on the coast, you get amazing amount of housing at the very start without putting up any houses. And this is really crucial because the amount of housing you have towards your population is going to dictate how fast your city is going to grow in the population. So his ability is +3 housing in coastal cities. Pastures trigger a culture bomb. Culture is a really big thing. Yields from campuses, commercial hubs, holy sites, and theater squares are +1. That means they produce that unit, like commercial hubs produce +1 gold, holy sites +1 faith, theater squares, I believe it is amenities or culture. In tiles with charming appeal, +3 in breathtaking. The other thing is a digger. It's an Australian unique modern era unit that replaces the infantry. It has +10 combat strength. That's huge. While fighting on coastal tiles, +5 combat strength when fighting on neutral or foreign territory. So if you take the fight to the opponent, you're going to have a boost in attack. That's pretty awesome. The Outback Station, that unlocks the builder ability to construct an Outback Station, unique to Australia, where you get +1 food and +1 production, +1 food for each adjacent pasture. So you want to build these pastures all together. Additional food and production as you advance through the technology and civic tree for adjacent Outback stations and pastures. Can only be built in desert hills, grassland, and plain tiles. Okay, so we're going to pick him. The rest of it's going to be really randomized. Continent's huge. I'm going to do just a domination victory because this gets a little, it just gets really out of hand really quick. I'm going to put on the easiest setting just to kind of show you guys how this works. We are going to be using the Gathering Storm expansion, which means we're going to have weather effects impact us. That is really cool. And I'm going to take off the turn limit. Otherwise, it'll cap at 500 in the game. And then the rest looks good. I'm just going to double check everything here. Okay. Yeah. All right. So this is going to take a couple of minutes to start. the size of the map, the gaming system, it definitely is working through creating it in real time. Um, so it's going to read you a little synopsis of the leader here. And excuse me, I'm eating right now as well.
Stirrings of life beneath water, to the great beasts of the Stone Age, to man taking his first upright steps, you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest, from this early cradle of civilization on towards the stars. Prime Minister Curtin, you will lead Australia through challenge after challenge, and your people will emerge all the stronger for it. Others will seek friendship for your strength. If these friends prove loyal, your might and protection will carry you far. But stay vigilant, for aggression is not your natural course.
So John. They really take the leader and break it down and make you initially friendly and defensive to other players. But John is he's not a warmonger. He's actually against war. And so that means the Australian citizens are going to be against war as well. So you have to keep that in mind. And you in this game, you really don't want to declare war until you get your fighter jets. Once you have your fighter jets and your bombers and maybe your nuclear bomb, that gets very interesting there. Some people like to go and and wipe out a civilization right away in the game. I don't necessarily do that because it really impacts diplomacy. You don't know who's friends with who, that sort of thing. But the Australian faction, they are definitely about keeping the peace, no warmongering, but defending their allies. They are more than willing to go to war to defense. So you're going to have the support of the citizens for that, and that's also going to come into play as well. The big thing in this expansion that I've been playing with is culture, is entertainment, and loyalty. Because the last game I was playing with Australia, I took 4 cities over by not doing anything, just having really loyal citizens and pushing that loyalty on the bordering towns. So unfortunately, the Inca lost 4 of their cities to me. I took them in. It was pretty sweet. It took a long time to get up to that point. It took about 187 turns or so, and a lot of building of entertainment districts and things like that. Good natural wonders, definitely monuments in every city, and you guys will start to see what I mean by that once the game does get started. As I said, it's still loading, it's still creating the map. It takes some time to do that, so yeah, we're just waiting on that, and I think I'm just gonna have another bite of my dinner right here. Oh, it's coming close. Come on, civilization. See that little circle in the bottom right hand corner? That's what I'm waiting for to get complete. It is taking, look, it's been about 4 minutes already. Here it comes. You can hear by the interruption in the music. There we go. All right. So this is the way it initially looks. Of course, um, you get a settler and a warrior, and it's tile based. So you move through these tiles, and move around. It tells you how many turns it's going to take for you to get there. It's turn based. I see a resource here already. That's a luxury resource that we can trade for some gold if we end up refining it. The first thing I want to do, I want to figure out where I want to end up. Oh, this is perfect. So 2 production and 2 food. That means I put my city down here. Every turn automatically, I immediately get 2 production, 2 food. So the way the game works is everything you build is broken down into production and into turns. The more production you have, the fewer turns. It's not so much about population. There's other things that have to do with the population. Um, and then we have our warriors here, and once we get some experience for these guys, we can upgrade them and have some fun. I'm going to go ahead and put them on this order right here, which is just automate exploration. I need to see more of the map to get an idea of where I want my second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth city to be put. I kind of want to get on the coast here and see if there's another 2 and 2 that I can get. 2 food, 2 production, 1 faith. I might do that one right there. 2 production, 2 food. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to automate that here. And let's see. What about this one? Let's just move these guys down here and see what's going on. So I clicked the turn to make it the next turn. Alright, gotcha. Oh, ouch. That's a lot of tundra. Oof. Tundra's not good for me. It's good if you're Russia. Russia does incredibly well in tundra. However, Australia does not. So, probably going to move because when I set up my city, I'm going to get all the surrounding tiles. And I do not want to build on tundra. So, I'm going to move my guys back over here. And hopefully we can find another ocean, another little sea to settle on, because we definitely want to settle on a coast. I don't want to do that. Go back here. Cancel that. Alright, so that little song is a message that my guys have uncovered a village. And that village, I'll show you here. So it's a tribal village. I just need to walk over it and I get something for it. It's completely randomized, which is going to take a couple of turns. How's this, Churro?
Civilization has a
Uh, Alright, so that gave me some extra research for a random project, and I'm still waiting to get to that tile to set down my town. Alright, so now that we had set up the town of Canberra, now we can open up the technology tree and start doing some research. So the first thing I always do is animal husbandry. It allows you to build a camp and a pasture, and it reveals horses for you. So I always do that one first. Horse is a resource that you're going to need to. You can trade them for gold, or you can use them to create cavalry units. Alright, and so this is the actual town. So let's take a look and see what we should build here. So there's this little icon right here of a woman. That's my advisor. Whenever that icon is highlighted on an item, she's giving me a suggestion of what to build. always try to go with her suggestion because it's usually correct. So I'm making a scout because I need a scout to go around. And let's see, as you can see, I already have 6 housing in my town. That's huge. Usually it's about 2 or 3. And right now I'm just going to hit the turn button because my guys right here are exploring. So there's a little mouth on to my city right here. That's where ships can I can make ships there, and they can go right out to the sea. I don't need a dock built for those, which is kind of cool because later on in the game you can play around with canals, which is pretty fun. So we can see a huge exposed. There might be a huge ocean here, which we'll probably build the majority of our cities on. So that right there is a city-state. City-states are NPCs. In their cities, they'll never expand. They'll just be one city. You can send these things called envoys to them. And whichever major civilization has the most envoys sent to the city-state gains access to their resources and their production, which is really cool. Also, if you go to war to someone or someone declares war against you, they will be allied with you and they will fight with you. I usually use them as a buffer. Usually someone's on the other side of them, and I'll be allied with them. So if they do decide to declare war against me, they have to get through the city-state first. And we're seeing a lot of mountains here. I'm not worried about any of these mountains. It's the ones that are usually. Alright, so we got animal husbandry done. Now we're going to go back into the research tree and figure out which one we're going to do next. And I'm going to go with archery. I do need a good archer. And what I was saying about the mountains is we're going to be on the lookout for some volcanoes. Volcanoes can be incredibly dangerous. They can erupt at any time. They only affect the tiles around them. However, if they do erupt, the tiles around them are super fertile and are amazing farmland. Alright, so I am building another settler for another town. As you can see, my city right here is growing. I have 2 citizens, and I have 6 houses. So I have enough houses to cover the citizens I'm building. And the next time I get a citizen is going to be in 10 turns. That's why that big 10 with an up arrow is right below that. That's telling me that. And then on the right-hand side of the Canberra little box there, you see that I'm building a settler, and it's going to take me 12 turns. So one thing I can do is I can go over here and see if this is going to make a difference, and go into the management and see if I can increase the production or focus my citizens on production. And you can see that it dropped to 11 turns. So they're focusing on producing as much as possible. So now it won't take that many turns to get that settler out. Alright, so up here we have our barbarian. So it's a little scout. Um, it is on unfavorable favorable terrain, so it's losing some attack strength because of that. And we have +3 attack combat strength due to difficulty. So he's also got river defense, which is increasing his ability. It's a little bit of a draw there. He very well might run away. If he does, I'll probably stay here and heal up before I go out again with my warriors. Oh, he wants to hang out here. Okay. So he took out one of the 4 I have, but I also caused a lot of damage to him. So let's see what he's gonna do. He should run away. There he goes. All right, so
It is not wisdom, but authority.
so my scout down here has spotted a barbarian outpost, which means I have to clear out the defenders and then walk over it to delete it. Otherwise, it's going to keep spawning barbarians, which is going to suck. And these are government tiles, so they allow you a lot of. As the game goes on, you get so many different tiles you can choose from, and they're very handy. But for right now, I'm just going to choose the tile that gives me a +5 attack, fighting barbarians, and a +1 production in all my cities. I'm getting my scout as far away from those barbarians as possible because they could easily wipe them out. And I just want him to uncover the map. He's not there to fight. So right away you get to choose a pantheon, and these can do so many different things that it takes some time to kind of study up on them, play around with them, and research them. But once you choose it, it's chosen for the game. So that's what I'm looking for right now. Wonders are good. Mhm. What I'm really looking for is loyalty, which is usually amenities or culture. So there's this one, the River Goddess, which is +2 amenities and 2 housing to cities if they have a holy site district adjacent to a river. And then this one is +1 culture from pastures, and you can build several pastures, but you have to have enough population to work them. I think I'm going to do this one, River Goddess. And remember to build a holy site near a river. Looks like we're about to pop out the settler. Alright, so the settler, everything in red I can't settle by, so I can't settle too close by my city. And as you can see, where the little box by the settler, it tells you how much housing you're going to get. I really want a dark green versus a light green. Those I'm going to get the most houses in. Now let's see. Possibly this one. Oh, perfect. I'm going to settle here. It's 2 and 2 production. And it's going to be a perfect place. And as you can tell, over time, the border starts to expand around your city. So you start getting more plots, and you can start doing. You can only do anything with the land that's within your border. You have to wait until it expands, or you can buy these additional tiles. This guy is seriously messed up in that he keeps going back to the barbarian outpost. I'm just gonna send him way out somewhere.
Je suis Catherine, reine mère de France. Je vous souhaite la bienvenue à mon royaume. J'ai grand désir et envie de découvrir tous vos secrets.
Don't trust this bitch. She is. If you look in history, this queen is known as the Black Queen because she murdered everyone. And in the game, she's very manipulative. Do not trust her. Annihilate her or run away. I am not gonna deal with her. So part of a um, of something you could do is you could plan a city right over here to try to cut off Paris's expansion. However, you're going to lose loyalty because the closer your cities are, the more loyalty you're going to get from surrounding cities. So if you go over here and plant a city, just make sure that Paris isn't going to cut down on your loyalty. That's a big thing. What's this guy doing? It's like not even moving.
May the forces of evil become confused while your arrow is under...
I'm going into the little bit advanced stuff because I want this research as it exposes iron, and iron I need for my swordsman. Alright, but guys, that is 30 minutes of basic gameplay. I promised myself I would keep this live stream shorter than usual, and it's very difficult with this game, so I'm going to keep playing this game, and when things start to get a little bit more interesting, maybe do another live stream in a couple of days or so. But thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and I will talk with everyone later here.